Every once in a while, something comes along that's not just different, it's one of a kind, which is why we now head to the west side of Manhattan and join Anthony Mason as he peers into the future.
It's the centerpiece of the largest and most expensive private real estate development in American history.
2, 3.
Vessel was unveiled this past week, the sculpture in the middle of Hudson Yards, a vast new 16-building complex on the west side of Manhattan. The honeycombed flight of fancy, it's actually made of 154 flights of stairs, was conceived by 49-year-old British designer Thomas Heatherwick.
When you've spent 6 years working on something, how does it feel to reach a moment like this?
Architecture and design is a really funny thing. And when I was a child, I used to think, how do people stay committed to an idea for 6 years? How do architects wait?
The first pieces of Vessel were laid in place back in April of 2017, 4 years after Heatherwick had first imagined it.
You've only seen this on a computer until now?
Yes.
First time?
Yes.
That summer, Heatherwick flew in from London to check on the progress,
It's thrilling.
inspecting his creation with almost boyish enthusiasm.
When you see something like this becoming a reality, how does it feel for you?
It's the biggest thrill possible.
This is kind of the center of a new city, a little city.
Its job is to be the heart, and I wanted that to be something that people could use and touch, and not something that they just sort of look at.
It's really nice to see you, because we've got stuff.
The Heatherwick studio in London, with its team of more than 200 artists, architects, and designers,
We knew it would rock, but we hadn't really fully thought through that it could then be able to go all the way round.
has dreamed up spinning chairs, redesigned the classic London bus, created a drawbridge that rolls down, and conceived the cauldron for the 2012 London Olympics.
It's really important to be scared all the time of becoming your own cliche.
Similarity is your enemy?
Well, why do something if it already exists? This side elevation, that it has this life to it.
Heatherwick has another New York project in the works, Pier 55, a park and theater on pilings in the Hudson River, now under construction less than a mile from Hudson Yards.
Look at the size of these things.
The developer of Hudson Yards, Stephen Ross, had an immediate bond with the designer.
You're the creative genius. You see things that other people don't.
The 78-year-old billionaire, who also owns the Miami Dolphins, first saw Heatherwick's Vessel proposal 6 years ago. He was sold instantly.
What did you love about it?
I love the fact that it's so iconic, and you wouldn't come to New York, you know, without wanting to walk to the top of it.
And it's going to cost how much?
That alone was over 150 million.
The 87 carbon steel pieces that make up Vessel were prefabricated at a plant in Italy, then shipped to the U.S., to the port of Newark, where they were loaded on a barge and pushed up the Hudson River. From the dock, they were driven at night to the construction site. This past week, as workers put the last pieces in place,
And it's 150 feet high.
Stuart Wood, the Heatherwick Studios point man for the Vessel project, took us to the very top.
Why is it I don't actually feel like I've climbed 15 stories? Because I don't.
Well, it's because there's plenty to look at. Ironically, unlike a normal building, it gets easier the higher up you go.
Yeah.
The staircases get shallower. I mean, we think of this as three-dimensional public space.
Right.
Like a park, but taller.
Tickets are free, but entry will be limited to 700 visitors at a time. Vessel's creator, Thomas Heatherwick, awaits their reviews.
How will you judge it to be a success?
Success is a really funny thing, really, isn't it? I suppose we can't predict how people are going to use it.
Yeah.
It's just is. And then what happens now is nothing to do with me.